Welcome back, everybody, to another trade recap. Today, I'm going to be going over the trade I took over on M&Q at about 10:47 this morning. I actually ended up taking a loss today, about $476. As the market wasn't really respecting any parts of my strategy, but I didn't take a bad setup. I didn't, break any of my rules. It was just the market wasn't having my strategy today. So I ended up taking a loss. You can see when I entered right here, I sized about 8 contracts, 8 micros. So we head on over to TradingView. Coming into pre-market, we can see overnight we swept. Sorry. Coming in overnight, my bad. In London session, we were very, very bullish, and we had a very strong uptrend, creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, as you can tell. So this created lots of levels of liquidity to the downside, which I could use as price targets or just as levels to get my bias. So moving on over to previous areas of liquidity, we have this, what is this? Asian high from last night over here. Now this is a pretty strong level, so just keep my eye out for a reversal straight off market open, but it did not happen. Go ahead and mark these levels out. Alright, there we go. So as I said, we're in a very clear uptrend. So once this Asian high got taken out right here, I was not really expecting price to reverse, but I was more just watching out for price to reverse. So continuing, we can see, boom, straight up. Like, we were just like same as kind of yesterday and the day before. We were just really bullish, and with momentum like this straight off market open, even though my bias here would be bearish because we're taking out these levels of liquidity, like there's no real selling pressure. Like there's no red candles here, or black in my case. There's no black candles through here, so there's just straight buying pressure straight through these levels of liquidity. So this is telling me that there's no pullbacks, which is telling me that buyers are in 100% control. Sellers don't have any interest in stepping in. Besides this black candle right here, and this is actually a potential setup I was going to take. So you can see this candle right here is 70 points, which is almost double the size of the fair value gap candles I like to take. So my plan was, I recognized that there was a lot of buying pressure and no signs of selling anywhere. So even though my levels of liquidity got taken out, normally my bias would be bearish, I was still bullish in this case because, I mean, price obviously wants to come and take this level out and the levels above. So my plan was to, let me see, where's it at? My plan was for this candle right here to come down, tap into this fair value gap, and then continue going up. As you can see, we did continue going up, but we never tapped into the fair value gap, which means that I could not take this trade because that is like my main confirmation when I'm taking this up. So I had to wait for this level right here to get taken out. Now we can see it got taken out, and we started to form a liquidity sweep because we closed below this level and we're not showing any signs of wanting to go back above this level. So this is telling me that buyers are pretty much tapped out. So let me see. Sorry. I can't remember if I took this setup on the 15 or 5 minute. It was a 5 minute, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I ended up taking, I think it was off this candle. So we can see that this candle right here is 46 points, which is just above what I like the fair value gap candles to be. So you can see right here, you might be asking yourself, well, this gap is not, it's not big at all. Like there's nothing really to it. And yeah, you're right. But with inverse fair value gaps, this doesn't really matter. Like there's still an imbalance there. There's still orders that need to be filled within that little area, so it doesn't really matter. But if this was like a continuation, if this was like a regular fair value gap where I would be looking for price to hit one of these, like I just showed, to hit one of these and then keep going, I would not take it if the gap was that small. This is an inverse, I would. So we can see we formed the liquidity sweep right there, and then we ended up inversing it with a good amount of pressure. I actually got a pretty late fill, so my fill was at, let's see here, 1994.50. 1994.50, which is hold up, that can't be right. Whatever. I just know it was a pretty late fill. It wasn't my best entry. I kind of hesitated just a little bit because the gap was so small that I wanted to see like how we could hold up. But yeah, that resulted in me not getting the best fill. But it didn't really matter because I mean it's not like it like price ticked me out and then went right back in my direction. That's not what happened. Like we completely reversed back up. So I entered around here, and as you can see, we saw about, for me, it was about almost 20 points, and my stop loss was 30 points, so it was something like this. Stop loss was 30 points, and I don't like to trim unless we've hit liquidity, which we haven't because the nearest level of liquidity is right here, and I don't like to trim unless we've hit liquidity or I'm at a 1-to-1 risk to reward, which would be right here. And obviously we did not hit that, and I saw the amount of sellers stepping in, so I thought, okay, well, I don't really need to like trim right now because we've got some sellers stepping in really nice. And then all of a sudden this candle flipped back green and kind of formed a doji, so I wasn't like super concerned. Maybe it was a pullback because on ES we were like in the middle of a fair value gap, so I wasn't like super concerned. But then this candle right here stopped me out, and we reversed because I'm pretty sure it was because we had a lot of fair value gaps to fill on ES or inverse. Sorry, same thing. But we had a lot of fair value gaps to inverse on ES, so I'm pretty sure that's what stopped me out because price reversed on here and then it reversed on ES as well. So we kind of had a little SMT. But I kind of knew the risk behind it. Like I was aware of them. I was aware of the gaps on ES that we had, and I still took it. I did take a full size, but I mean, I don't really care. Like I followed all my rules and whatnot, so it's just a normal loss. But yeah. So where I went wrong was the gaps on ES. I probably should have waited for a later entry because then this wouldn't happen to me because I would have saw the gaps aren't getting, or your ES is bouncing off the gaps. Sorry, they're not inversing. They're not getting inverse, and then I would have saw that, and I probably wouldn't have taken this because whenever that happens on ES, the other one typically correlates, like, and vice versa. So, yeah, I ended up losing about 500 on this trade, 476 right there. Again, not too stressed or worried about it because I followed all my rules, only took one trade. But yeah, that is going to be the trade review. Let me know if you guys have anything else that you want to see down in the comments. Any tips, anything that you guys might want to see, future videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.